pulled out a piece of chicken skin he didn't want to eat and dangled it in front of him. Then he threw the food he was picky about onto the floor, using it to humiliate George under the constant insults and pressure. George's anger finally exploded. He stood up suddenly, stormed over to the boy, and in the next moment, the boy was on the floor. In the end, George was expelled from school. It wasn't the first time he had been kicked out for fighting. His father had abandoned him when he was young, and his mother, just to keep her children in school, had to move them from place to place. Poverty made it impossible for them to pay rent, and the 5 of them were forced to squeeze into an old, abandoned shack. All they had there was cold and hunger. George grew up in such an environment, but through his own hard work, he managed to become someone impressive. To avoid the police dog search, George had no choice but to cover himself in waste. Because this would mask his scent, he successfully fooled the police dogs. The reason George did this was because in his younger years, his temper was explosive, and his family was poor. George was rejected by every school. As a teenager, he became a street thug. One day, he and a friend targeted a drunk man. They worked together to follow